Super Showdown is a card and dice game designed by Trevor Cram. To play, you're going to be taking the role of either a hero or a villain. You'll be fighting with your opponent while moving all around the city while trying or not trying to get to the mayhem. Cards representing your attacks will be played and compared to determine who wins a showdown. So in the box, you're going to get one city grid game board, and the board has 36 spaces and 4 sides: green, white, victory, and defeat. There are also power boost spaces that let you move an extra space on your turn. You have 18 superpower cards, and there are 9 hero cards and 9 villain cards. And these are distributed, these are shuffled and then distributed between the 2 players during the setup. You have 2 player markers. In the final game, there's going to be special hero and villain meeples. Right now, there's just these little tokens, but the meeples are going to be much cooler. You have 2 mayhem locators, and these are basically dice that you roll to determine where the mayhem takes place. So the hero has the scanner die, and the villain has the rumors die. You have 2 reference sheets, instruction booklet, and Trevor says the box is going to be similar to the size and shape of a comic book, but in box format, obviously. So since this is the first look, I'm going to quickly go through how to play the game so you can see if it's something you may be interested in. The instructions are easily obtained online, so I'm not going to go into every single detail. To set up, you shuffle and deal out all of 18 of the superpower cards evenly between the 2 players. And you check to see if you have more white cards or more green cards. So if you have more white, you're the hero. If you have more green ones, then you're the villain. So you're still able to play any colored card you like. This just tells you which token or meeple to take and which die to take. And also which cards you want to be victorious when you have showdowns. So you then place the hero and the villain tokens on their respective starting positions, and you're ready to play. So the villain starts on the very first round. So you're going to roll the green die, and whatever number it lands on is where you're going to place it on the green side of the board. So after you do that, you can move your villain token up to 2 spaces on the grid, or 3 if you're on a power boost spot. After that, the hero can then move their token up to 2 spaces as well. It's at this time that both players choose and select a card to play face down on the table, and you just leave it there for the end of the round. So on this first turn, the hero is then going to roll their die and place it on the corresponding white side of the board. And the square where the 2 numbers on the with dice on them intersect, that's where the mayhem occurs. And after that, the hero may move 2 spaces, and then the villain gets another chance to move 2 spaces as well. So after both players have done their movements, you reveal the face down cards and you resolve the battle in one of 3 ways. And the first one is brawn, and that's if both players occupy the same square, then the high card or cards is victorious and the low card is defeated. Then players are going to return their tokens back to the starting spots. Now, the ray gun and decoy cards act as modifiers in this particular showdown, and they can alter the outcome. The second one is speed. So this takes place if only one player reaches the mayhem. They're the ones that are going to decide which cards are victorious and which are defeated. And here, a decoy can change the outcome as well. There is a battle of wits, and this takes place if no one reaches the mayhem. And when that happens, the high card is victorious, but If both players play the same color card and the total of the combined card is over 19, then both cards are defeated. So this could be a pretty big turn in one person's favor. The round following that, the player that rolled second becomes the first player. And then you just rotate and repeat the steps until one player has 5 cards in the victory pile, or one player has 5 cards in the defeat pile. So, Super Showdown mechanically is pretty easy to learn. Figuring out how and when to use your cards, that may take a little longer. Winning a showdown is not always your goal. Sometimes, like for instance, when you play a card in your opponent's color, you may want to lose a showdown, so you can send that card to the defeat pile. So basically, the path of victory changes depending on dice rolls and what card your opponent plays. It feels as if you're just going along for the ride at first, but then it begins to make sense, and you start learning the cards, so you'll know what your opponent has in their hand, and then you start trying to figure out what they're going to do, but by using the cards and how they choose to move around the board. Eventually, you start trying to bluff and trick your opponent into playing what you want them to play, and they're going to do the same thing to you. So playing the game really does feel like you're trying to chase down and outsmart your nemesis. There are times that I felt like I was getting my tail kicked all around the city. Then I would take a huge risk and get myself back in the game. 5 cards in the victory or defeat pile is really not that many. And when you consider that on a big turn it's possible to put 2 of the same color in one pile, a comeback is always possible. Now there's some luck involved, with the dice rolls and cards, but the game is good fun and I really enjoyed it. I think the mechanics in Super Showdown are very innovative in how dice rolling, player movement, area control, and simultaneous player action are mixed together to create something that just feels neat.